Man, I sure tired. You know what I feel like doing today? Committing mass genocide on anyone who thinks differently than me. And getting some bread. All of mine's moldy. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about the Crusades. There were a bunch of battles, wars, and skirmishes that all happened around here. All with the objective of capturing some holy lands, also around here, and killing as many people as possible, because everyone knows that the best way to preach your religion is by slaying as many heretics as possible. For real, if you can get that number up to like 1 million, it's almost definitely gonna get some traction. Anyway, the first one of these was called...
Yeah, we already know this. It's from Indiana Jones and the First Crusade.
No, it wasn't called the First Crusade, it was called, So that's why I have to change its name. To make a fat nerd man wrong? Is that even his name? Yep. God damn it. Anyway, this one was called the First Crusade. And actually went pretty well. The objective was to beat up some Seljuks, help the Byzantines beat up some Seljuks, and just be generally a dick to the Seljuks. Oh yeah, and also take the Holy Lands from the Seljuks, because that's kind of the whole point. Basically, the Byzantines, these dudes, had been getting pushed around quite a bit. This wasn't really good for the Christian world, since they didn't want another case of the Moors. They also wanted to get Jerusalem, as that's where Jesus was born, I think. Either that or he died there. Something like that. But, you know, there's these dudes there, the Seljuks, who also kinda want Jerusalem. So how do you think they should settle their differences? Is it A, pay them shitloads of money so that they could have it? B, ask very kindly for it? C, give up and decide Jesus was actually born in Rome, or somewhere like that? Or D,
bloodshed?
Submit your preferred answer now at don'tdoidon'tgiveashit.com. So these Crusaders are currently helping the Byzantines. How nice of them. And besieging their ex-city of Antioch. This took quite a while though, as they had to wait 8 months for something to finally happen. And what happened is that it was a stalemate. Nothing happened. They waited 8 months for nothing, until the army's commander pulled a sneaky and managed to convince one of the guards into opening the gate. This was definitely a mistake for the guard though, as the Crusaders massacred the population of both Muslims and Christians. Oh, by the way, Crusaders massacring the population of cities is going to be quite a trend, so... After this, the Emperor of the Byzantine Empire retreated back to the city of Philomium, retreated back to the city of Philomium, which the Crusaders took as a betrayal. For some reason. Once the Crusaders actually reached Jerusalem, you know, their goal, they besieged yet again. And yet again, it ended in a stalemate. This time, instead of a Christian commander convincing one of the guards to open up, it was one of the Muslim commanders who offered a trade deal as long as they provided him safe passage to Ascalon. He would open the gate. Once the Crusaders got inside, can you guess what happened next? Is it A, the Crusaders non-stop insulted everyone in the town? B, the people living in the city managed to push back the Crusaders out of the city? C, the Crusaders spent a day massacring the population of the city? Or D, the Crusaders spent 2 days massacring the population? It is, of course, D, again. After the Crusaders had had enough of killing thousands of people while screaming Deus Vult, which I think is Latin for "it is the will of God," they decided that was enough and formed the Kingdom of Jerusalem, so that they could have a permanent Christian kingdom on the Holy Lands for about 50 years. Welcome to the Second Crusade! Jerusalem was not doing very good. They had a few cities taken, and more minor crusades earlier actually tried to help them out, but they got absolutely decimated. Right around when the Crusaders of this new Second Crusade departed, Jerusalem fell. However, this one would be different. It would be more organized. It would kill as many Christians as possible. Wait, Christians? I thought the whole idea of this was to kill as many non-believers as possible. And maybe a few thousand Christians. Well, that might have been the objective, but this one contained 2 kings of powerful kingdoms, and it still went to shit. How? I'm glad you asked. This crusade started with a plan for the French king and his armies to meet up with the German king and his forces, but there were a few miscommunications when they left. And when the Germans got into Byzantine territory, they were alone. Even worse, the Byzantines sent an army to make sure that the Germans didn't cause any trouble. And by make sure the Germans didn't cause any trouble, apparently their actual objective was murder. The Battle of Constantinople ended in a Byzantine victory, making the Germans certain that they had to run to Asia Minor as quick as possible, when they were supposed to wait for the French. They got very much wrecked by the Seljuks and lost a huge portion of their army. After this, the Second Crusade did pretty much nothing but make people sad. The Crusades following this were pretty much all failures. They sent a crusade to Egypt and had a peace treaty where they could have gotten Jerusalem back, but they refused this because they wanted more. Anyway, that was some Crusades for you. I got this all from Wikipedia with no sort of background check at all. So it might all be wrong, but you know, you win some, you lose some. The end.